Hey Aquarius, I hope that everybody's doing well. We're here with a timeless reading. Welcome. Okay, first card out we have Queen of Cups. I'm seeing the Death card on the bottom of the deck. It's connected with Scorpio. I'm seeing 10 of Cups. Okay. This looks like something is going exactly how you want it to go on a deeper level. I'm seeing something that's being figured out here. You could be spending time focusing on this. Okay. To have the Queen of Cups here, this shows that there's something that you have going on that you feel like you're connected with, and like whether this be a personal endeavor or there's something else that's going on where, like, Queen of Cups means that right now you're getting up to something that you care about, whether it be like, I care about how I'm feeling right now, or this is something that I wanted to be working on, or I'm spending time with somebody that I care about. It's that type of thing. It's like things that matter to you on an emotional level, things that you have like feelings towards, or something that makes you feel happy to connect to. And this feels more than anything like you being connected enough to know like what's in alignment for you emotionally and energetically more than anything. It seems to like there could have been something that you were figuring out. Maybe you're not at this point of making a decision yet, because what fell on the floor was Two of Pentacles and Eight of Cups, and this can be something that you were trying to... You could have been asking yourself like whether or not you wanted to stay within a situation. Looks like something is helping you move along with this. But before you can really get to the point of knowing whether or not you're going to be happy staying within a situation, you have to feel connected with that part of yourself. So this is showing you being connected with that part of yourself now. So I'm seeing this be a moment that feels like, wow, I'm really in tune right now. I know what I want. I know what's feeling right. I know what's connected for me. I also know what's not connected for me. So this feels like you being in a place where you feel solid about something. And that may not always be the case. So this can feel like an important moment to you because of that. Because you know, when it comes to cups, it's like a less tangible thing, and it's something that we really have to tune into, that we really have to tap into that. And you being connected with this, it does show you being very connected with yourself right now, and like what lights you up as well. So this is important, very, very important. And if you don't feel that way, this is what I'm seeing it be encouraged for you to like move in this direction and connect in that way. Like, what do I feel and what is going to make me happy? Like, when I think about things that bring me joy, like, what does that look like for me? Like, those types of things. What are my ideals too? Especially on an emotional level, especially on a feeling level. Whether this be like interpersonal relationships, or this just be like something that you're aspiring towards. Anything like that, that you're like, when I think about feeling connected to this or feeling connected to that, I feel happy, or I feel at peace, or I feel safe, or I feel calm, like those types of things. I feel satisfied. Maybe you've been thinking about this in order to communicate it. Maybe somebody wanted to know, because this looks like it's something that's being shared. So you can be in a spot where somebody was like, I want to know what's going to make you happy, and or you wanted to know what's going to make you happy, and it looks like this is being communicated now. This may not have been an easy thing to get out, because first you need to connect with yourself. So if there's anything that you're like avoiding or pushing off or numbing, you sort of have to get through like all of those layers to get to this part that's actually connected and feeling things and wanting to be present for what it is that you're feeling. And then be like, when I send out those like tentacles energetically, like what does that connect to? Especially the things that are feeling feel good to be connecting to. And then it looks like mobilizing that in some way where this thing, it feels like you've concentrated something or you focused something where you can actually speak to this now, and maybe you weren't able to before, because it's like, first I need to connect with myself, then I need to see what that part of me is connected to, like outside of myself, but it can also be within too, and then I need to get to this point where I'm able to communicate that in a way where it actually like translates what I'm trying to communicate here. So I'm seeing this be a really big thing for you here. This feels like a very big win for you, and it may not have been easy for you to get to this point. Some of you, you're connecting with somebody that you care about, and that's why this was so important for you to communicate. But this can also be like a job-related thing, or it can be with somebody that you're dating or somebody that you're seeing. There was a purpose to you tapping in. It wasn't only so you could know yourself, but it feels specifically like this was so you could communicate this. Like advocating for that internal world of yours. And I'm seeing that, like, whatever this is that you did where you mobilized this and you communicated it, I'm seeing you did, like, the best job possible with this. I'm seeing it, again, be a big deal. Because maybe it's easier for you to talk about other stuff and not talk about how you're feeling or, like, what feels good to you, you know? That type of thing. Oh, I'm seeing something else here. So, for those of you, some of you guys, you needed to tap into what you were feeling and get to a place where you felt centered and then communicate with somebody. So some of you was like about actually how you're feeling, but some of you, you just felt like you needed to get into a specific place and then communicate from that place. So you're like, I want to be like at this vibration, or I want to be feeling connected in this way, and then I'm going to communicate with this person in that way, or I'm going to express myself in this way. But it's like from this place that you want to be working from, where you really do feel like you're in tune, and then expressing yourself from that place. I'm seeing something unexpected here. We're gonna... I want to see... I'm seeing something going on energetically, but I'm trying to see how this is connected with your stuff. All right. It feels like there's a transition that's being made, because we have the devil here, but then I'm seeing you like moving past that, like moving away from that and moving to the Empress. And these are very interesting energies to see, because the devil can be these things that we have that are connected with, it's connected with like this less evolved aspect of our energy that's more simplistic and also like more impulsive. Like I see the connection with the devil as us knowing that there's something going on that is out of alignment, but the way that we try to like satisfy that or work with that is not going to be like the type of solution that we're looking for. Like it can be something that works in a moment, but it's more so like a band-aid type of thing. And I'm seeing that may have been a way that you related there was something going on emotionally for you where themes of that were coming up for you, where you could have felt like there's something going on here that needs to be addressed, but the way that you were addressing it may have had you sort of like chasing your tail or running in circles. Now what I'm seeing is that there's this like evolving and this graduating to like actually genuinely bringing something together and addressing it in a way where like this is the right type of addressing this, where these are like real solutions that you're finding. Not that like the other things weren't real solutions, but with the devil it can be like I'm doing the wrong thing for the right reasons, like that type of thing, where it's like something about this doesn't feel right, or why do I feel like it works for a moment and then it goes away and it's not working anymore. It can feel almost like futile in a way because of that with the devil. So it's something where you're sort of like noticing that something is going on, but then trying to like take care of it or work with it in a way where it is like in no way a terminal solution by any means. And you can feel too that you're sort of stuck in a cycle of like, okay, I'm fixing it, but it kind of feels like the boat is sinking, and rather than fixing the hole that's in it, you just keep like throwing the water out. And so for a minute it can be like, okay, there's no water in here, but then inevitably it starts like coming back in there again. And so it's like that type of cycle. But now what I'm seeing is, and this is all like on an emotional level, I'm seeing this be all connected with stuff like internally for you. Now instead of doing things that way, I'm seeing you do it in a way where it's like you're actually addressing the whole and like patching it up. But it's patching it up in a way where there's like healing and unity and like a meshing and an integration. So then there's going to be no more water in the boat anymore. So this is like getting to the bottom, getting to the genesis of whatever this was that had been going on. Some of you may be doing like therapy or something like that. That doesn't have to be the only thing, but that's like the easiest example that comes to mind when I'm seeing Queen of Cups and the Devil. Because Queen of Cups is like, emotionally I feel like I'm lacking or something is missing and I'm craving this thing. Like, how do I satisfy that? And you can feel like however it was that you were like looking for something that was going to work for you, that you kept like filling up and then feeling empty again. You know, it's like you're looking for something that's feeling satisfying, and then whatever it is that you're using, it ends up like leaving you, like it doesn't stay in place. But now I'm seeing you moving in a direction where it's like things are actually staying in place. So it feels like this is an important discovery too, especially because like when we look at the difference between the Devil and the Empress, the Devil is something that like in order to find a solution, you give your power to that thing, where you're like, please be the answer for me. When it comes to the Empress, this is you finding the answer within yourself. So this is empowering, like self-empowering, rather than you like disempowering yourself to empower another thing that you hope is going to somehow empower you, you know? So the Devil is whatever that was that you were giving your power away to and being like, please, like, fix this, please be the answer. And it never was, or it would be for a minute and then it wouldn't be anymore. And you become dependent on that, especially in like some emotional way. But when it comes to you doing stuff in the way of the Two of Cups and the Empress, this is you being like self-reliant, and you're not outsourcing your own power. This is something that will empower you because you're empowering yourself by doing this. And there's a sense of unity here, because the Devil is also, because we feel like we need to empower this thing outside of ourselves or like give our power away to it, it feels like a splitting or like a separation that's happening, because it's like, this is me and that's that thing, and I need it from that thing because we feel disconnected from that. When we have the Two of Cups and the Empress, this is like, I feel union and I feel unity, and I feel connected to myself and also whatever else I may be connecting to, whatever else I may be connecting with. To have the Eight of Swords on the bottom of the deck, this feels like something that you're in the process of working right now. You may not feel like you've fully like transitioned over, but this is where I'm seeing you be going. Some of you, this is within a relationship that you've been working on. Some of you, This is within, oh, this can be so many different things. Like, we have cups here, so it's easy to talk about this being like an interpersonal relationship, but this can be so many different things. This can be like I want to feel satisfied on the inside, so devil can be like I'm overworking and I'm tying my value and my satisfaction to like how productive I'm being. It can be like that type of thing. But for many of you, this looks more so like it's connected with like a marriage or something like that. It's something that you're involved in regularly. This can be like a living situation. It's something that you've been putting, a relationship, it's something that you've been putting a lot of effort into. But there can be times where, I don't know, there's something going on here. Maybe you just feel like your mind is not like, you need to calm your mind in some way. I think there's a part of you that may be like a little bit intimidated maybe by, yeah, everything is fine. I'm seeing you be very much on track here. Some of you may feel a little bit intimidated by this transition that's happening, but I'm seeing it be like you're totally moving in the right direction. This is a great thing for you to be doing. It's absolutely encouraged for you. But at times there can be moments where you're not feeling the most confident about this, or you're feeling worried about it, or you're getting in your head about it, or you're starting to feel ungrounded. But I'm seeing this be like, you're right where you're supposed to be. Seeing Libra, I'm seeing Venus, and I'm seeing Capricorn. I'm also seeing Virgo. This looks like it's also about creating more of a sense of balance within your personal life. Maybe in a way where you felt like that wasn't. Like you could have felt like, I'm either too in my head or I'm too in my emotions. This is more so like an integration of those things where you feel more level-headed. And this can also be something that you've been thinking about, like, how do I become more level-headed, or how do I maintain more of a sense of balance, or like stabilize that within my life in a way that maybe you felt like that was missing from your personal life. This is a very big jump that's happening for sure. Yeah, some of you, I am seeing another person be here with you. It does feel like you're collecting yourself. I'm seeing like needs, and I'm also seeing emotions and the relationship between those things, and creating more of a sense of balance that maybe you were feeling like wasn't necessarily there before. You could have felt like you were like either on one side or the other side. And you could have also felt too, like in a way, you're like a slave to whatever this was that you were like giving power to. Because it's something that like when it's going right or it's going the way that you want it to go, you can like feel very powerful because of that, because of your connection with this thing. But then in times when you feel like you're having to put energy into something that you almost like don't give yourself a choice at a point, and you feel like it ends up controlling you, that's when you realize that this is something problematic. Because you feel like you have to, rather than it being something that you're like, I want to be doing this. You feel like it creates that type of dependency within the cycle, and wanting to liberate yourself from that by just putting more of a sense of balance within this. So I'm seeing that's what you've been working on. But this is something you've been working on this for quite some time. I'm not seeing this be like a new endeavor. I'm seeing this be something that you put a lot of effort into. And it does feel like you're getting these tastes of like real satisfaction and real happiness because of that, and you feel like it's allowing things to get moving within your personal life. Working on the balance of things. For the sake of liberation. So it's to give you more freedom, where you weren't feeling that so much before. There can be a part of you that's not feeling like super enthusiastic right now, though, about working on this. Maybe you're looking into why that is as well. Interesting. This seems like maybe you're realizing that something isn't in alignment with your values. That's important. You would be into something if you felt like it were aligned, but it may not be actually. This is definitely a big thing here, especially because we have Venus and we have Libra, which is ruled by Venus. So this can be like values that are connected with like relationship values, but it's also like values in general as well, just having Venus be here too. It's like wanting to make sure that the things that you're like uniting and connecting with, that there's a sense of balance, so it's not pushing or pulling in a way that you don't want it to. Because right now it seems like something that you've been spending time working on, and I did keep seeing the 8 of Cups, so there can be something that you've been doing where you're like, is this still the right thing for me to be doing? Like, does this still feel aligned for me? And that could have been like something that was being questioned, but you may not be at the point to do this because it was the 2 of Pentacles and the 8 of Cups that fell on the floor, and I see that as being something that like may be happening later on. Like, it may not be happening right now, but it may be a decision that's going to be made maybe like later down the line. Having 8 of Pentacles here and having 4 of Cups can be like this thing that I've been putting like so much time and energy into. There's a part of me that's like not really wanting to do that right now. And to have 6 of Pentacles on the other side, it's telling you that maybe something is not aligned with your values. That means I'm showing up and I'm not feeling energetically compensated for what I'm doing. That this is not worth my time. That this is not worth my energy. And that's why I'm not feeling enthusiastic going into it. That doesn't mean you get nothing from it. It's telling you that it's not aligned. When something's not aligned, it doesn't mean that it has no relationship at all or that it isn't working at all, but it's saying it's not functioning properly in the way that it's meant to. Otherwise, you would go into this and be like, this is totally worth my time, you know? This is totally worth my energy. But you may not be feeling like that right now, and it's something to look into. Because I'm seeing you feel like there's a lack of reciprocity within something that you've been working on, and it's something you've been working on for a while. Definitely. But there can be a part of you that you know that this may require, like if you're going to make a change or if you're going to do something about this, you may know that you would have to get outside of your comfort zone in order to address this. And as Aquarius is a fixed air sign, it's like mentally you like being on one track, or like the tracks that you put yourself on. So it's like, when I'm feeling this way, or I'm stuck on this, or like this is the way that things are working, like I don't want to transition to something else. So like mentally getting yourself, see, this is always going to be the issue with fixed signs. Like, there are really great benefits to fixed energy, and there are also things that make it more difficulty always with transitioning for fixed signs. And it's like that with mutable signs, they have their own stuff. With cardinal signs, they have their own stuff. With fixed signs, it's like it likes to stay in the lane where it's going. where it's been going. And so when you get mentally like on a particular page, you like staying on that and don't want to transition, especially when it comes to the bigger stuff that you have going on, because you've been like focusing a lot of your attention on this thing over here. So to think about like, this is something that I've consistently been doing, to think about like, maybe I'm not going to be doing that anymore, maybe I'm gonna like evolve to something else, you can feel very uncomfortable with that. And that's not to say that once you get into that other lane that everything's fine again. It's to say that like the bridge between the two, that's where the struggle is. But there may be something that you may eventually be like opening your mind to a bit, but you may not be at that point. I don't think that you're there yet. I think that it's something that's going to be happening. But I don't think you're at that point yet. But this feels like more so your guides preparing you in a way where it's like mentally sort of the seed is being planted for that idea, but you don't need to do anything about it. It was just like relaying that so it gets like set in there energetically. This is definitely a transitionary time for you. This thing about moving from the Devil to the Two of Cups and the Empress, this is you basically like taking your power back from something that you may, something or maybe multiple things that you feel like, I feel like this thing owns me instead of me having control over this. I feel like I'm doing things out of obligation that I don't necessarily want to be doing. And I'm having a hard time breaking away from that because I still want this thing to be the answer for me. I want to be able to find what I'm looking for here. So it's like that type of transition essentially that's happening. It's going to, this is something that feels sort of like a tectonic shift a little bit energetically for you, but I'm not seeing your guides rush you in any way. This feels like they're working with the pace that you're comfortable working within. And it's more so you just tuning into how it is that you're feeling. Because I think you can feel like you've already been getting guidance about this, but until you get to the point where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore, I think that maybe you're not gonna be on board with this. I think it's gonna need to get to a point where you feel like there's enough of a like deficiency that you're like, you really feel like you're turning away from something because you're like, this feels empty for me when I'm going into it. And you may not feel like all the way there yet. It may be something right now where you're like, you feel a little bit of disdain for something, or you feel a little bit like repulsed by something, or you feel a little bit like pushed away by something. But I'm seeing that part of you that's like, but I've been working on this for so long. Like, I've been doing this. That part of you that like has your loyalty connected with like the consistency of, but I've been showing up here every day. You know, that part of you, I think that's the part of you that's like, I want to know where I'm going. I feel comfortable because it's like every day I wake up and I do this thing, you know? Right? Like reach out to that person or work within this, whatever this is for you. There's that part of you that's like comfortable within the routine, but then there's this other part of you that's like, but I'm actually feeling uncomfortable within the routine. So it's like these two parts of you that there's something definitely being worked out here. I'm not seeing this be the end of a process. This is, you're sort of like in the middle of a big process that's happening here. And I'm seeing too, like part of it as well, like why this may not be the fastest process is because a lot of what's going on is occurring on an internal level, and so you can absolutely ignore this if you want to, but the voice is going to get loud enough that you're going to get to a point where like this even feels visceral now at this point for me. So something that began feeling like something that was only occurring internally, now I'm starting to see things show up physically for it. It's like it's becoming more and more palpable for you. So that's what I'm seeing is going on here. Yeah. Okay. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time. One more thing is that one little thing that you may start to think about is what is currently piquing your interest and keeping track of that, even if it feels like a couple different things right now or lots of different things now. It's sort of like taking a mental note or even having like a list or like a note on your phone or something, and every time you experience something where you're like, ooh, I feel intrigue, or something about that is calling to me, it's like keeping note of that in some way.